can't say me say error be over being and a bad saying.
Error be almost inside no I know as a nurse as I know you know say there's error. Okay. And I'll pay attention to the error.
Oh.
I Kennedy Agyapong.
Okay.
If the committee chairman because of the committee chairman of the cast either on Kennedy Kano or person will be say please is Indiana problem about immediately me and Kai.
Okay.
You will create problem there no police is India.
Okay.
Okay,
so
was saying.
Okay, so meaning so you cry you be born about so crash who error na or train adwin see so amokor
yes.
Okay, into the number bonte say na on person obe sign no na a mistake be
okay let me almost me na almost so hello so error na almost so so now what saying.
Okay.
You also correct me. I will
Stop radio back.
Okay.
Oh, okay. 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 Oh, okay. 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 Now other candidate for no so ye omuhu that error no say the what
other if you can chair branch but if you not complain the can the chair branch ball nobody
and maybe say so obo mo ama na omu ina na omu yo omu ka so okay yeah they can raising a
oh so the first let's come teacher man no call no who say no no question the nya dia yes I go cut zero.
Oh, okay.
And you're not going to be Bianca. To be able to them be about you.
I'm Timoma candidate for no Bianca. Namus Rose on tomato to bomb.
Oh, be a slow. Be a slow. It is you, Bianca. Stop radio back. You know, as on one side, there's nothing wrong with that.
Very well. Chairman, what shall me boss Ricky ABC me over studio? I'm a year the
affirming and committing themselves to supporting the eventual winner of the contest, the flag bearer of our party eventually. So this is a very solemn and a very important event. And to proceed, I'd like to invite our respected aspirants to take their seats on my right, and I will invite them in the order they appear on the ballot. Our first candidate or aspirant is the Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. The second person, the Honorable Dr. Brian Achiampong. His Excellency, the former Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. The Honorable Dr. Yao Osei Educhum. And at number 5, the former General Secretary of our party, Engineer Kennedy Agyapong. So at this point, I would invite the chair of the committee to read the highlights of the compact that we're about to sign, and then we'll proceed to signing. Thank you very much. Media, please. So please, media, and for those who are standing up, I think we have indicated we want to have a very clean event. So please, let's minimize the disruptions, the movements, so that we can have a very clean event. Thank you very much. The chairman is on the floor.
Thank you very much. Some little guidance for the
contestants. You will receive copies of the document each, and each one of you has his or her name. You will sign where your name is, the first one. Then you pass it on to the next one. Then the next person will sign his name on where you started, and it goes on to the next one, so that by the time it goes round, every one of you would have signed all the 5 copies that have been sent to you. Esteemed ladies and gentlemen, these are the terms of the peace pact. 1, acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the process has been conducted in accordance with the principles of transparency, fairness, participatory or inclusive manner, with all the presidential candidates aspirants afforded full and equal opportunity to participate at every stage. We hereby formally acknowledge and expressly affirm satisfaction that we actively participated at every level of the process. 2, acceptance of presidential election results. We commit to accepting the results of the 23rd January 2026 presidential primaries for the party, and we will respect the outcome irrespective of the results. We further reiterate and pledge to accept the outcome as a valid, authentic, and binding expression of the will of the delegates and the collective decision of the party. 3, promotion of peace and cohesion. We pledge to work together to maintain peace and cohesion within the party before, during, and after the primary. We will refrain from engaging in any actions or rhetoric that may disrupt party unity. 4, commitment. We pledge to remain committed and loyal to the New Patriotic Party regardless of the outcome of the presidential election. We shall remain active, committed, and dedicated members of the party at all times and work hard to recapture power in 2028. 5, support for the winner. We commit to diligently and conscientiously work to support the winner of the party's presidential primaries, both during the 2028 elections and in securing a sweeping or working majority in the next Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. The support will be aimed at achieving the overall success of the New Patriotic Party. Enforcement mechanisms. Any disputes or violations of this MOU will be subject to resolution within the party's established internal dispute resolution mechanisms in accordance with the party's constitution. This MOU shall be in effect from the date of signing until after the 2028 general elections. Thank you very much. Shall we give copies to the contestant each? Kindly pass on to the next one. Each one is to get, yes. Kindly give one to each one of them, please. So I think one finished. They finished the first one. That's right.
Sir? Address number 2. Because if you're in a busy roman, address that and explain here multiple things. We commit to accepting God in the faith. So that I should repeat it or how? But one of them should I come over? We will address the media.
Yes, it's one of the signs.
No, this is your
Please, too much noise. We have leadership with us.
Through the witnessing.
Yes. So, please, ladies and gentlemen, we have leadership in the room. Let's keep the noise down. DJ, please, can you turn down the music, please? Thank you. There's too much noise. Please, we can do this in quiet. Following the signing by the aspirants, we have a list of witnesses who would also sign. The witnesses include His Excellency, the former President John Agyapong Akufo, who will sign his portion later because he's not able to be with us today. The former president, His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, who the country misses, will sign as a witness. The acting chair of our party, Mr. Dankwa Smith-Bute, would sign as a witness. The General Secretary of the party, Mr. Justin Kodia Frimpong, will sign also as a witness. The chair of the Council of Elders, the Honorable Dr. Hakman Owusu Ajiman, will also sign as a witness. The former First Lady, the former Chief of Staff, our mother, the Honorable Akwesua Frema Osei Opare, who is the chair of Council of Patrons, will also sign as a witness. And last but not least, the indefatigable Honorable Alexander Apenyo Markins will sign also as a witness. No, Mark. After the signing by the various witnesses that have been announced, the chair of the Presidential Election Committee will lead the affirmation again for all the candidates, and then will present a copy to each of them. That will follow shortly. Please indulge us. We are attempting to sign all of it and everybody to sign because the live copy will be presented to the candidates right here, and we must make sure they're all signed. So please, in a few minutes, we'll all be done.
Live pictures from the Alisa Hotel here in Accra, where the new patriotic party, the NPP, is currently organizing a program where all 5 presidential aspirants are signing a peace plan ahead of the party's January 31st presidential primaries to elect who will lead the party going to the election of 20 2028. This particular event, put together by the National Elections Committee of the party, seeks to bring unity and commit the aspirants to unity before, during, and after the 31st January presidential primary. A number of speakers, raised a number of issues. The minority leader in Ghana's parliament, Alexander Apenyo-Markin, who is present at this event, spoke about the need for the NPP to unite to recapture political power in the 2028 general election. The Inspector General of Police, Christian Tessignon, who is also present, and he gave a firm assurance that indeed the Ghana Police Service is ready to ensure that there's security before, during, and after the election on January 31st. He says that, or indeed he warned the political party, which is the NPP or any of the presidential aspirants, not to come to the centers with macho men, and that the police people are more macho than them. Let's go back and hear what the Director of Communications for the party, Richard Hengba, is saying.
Worked with you to the extent that none of you has an issue with the work we have done. We are handing over the rest of the election to two national institutions which we each have confidence in. However, if there is evidence at any polling station that anything was done or tolerated that affects the integrity of the election at that polling station, we will take steps to annul the results from that polling station. That assurance, on behalf of the committee, I want to give it to you. We gave that assurance before the Electoral Commission. The EC chair herself said so, that if there's any evidence brought to her to show that any misconduct has affected the integrity of any particular poll, that particular poll will be annulled. So be assured, if you see anything that you think affects, please bring it to our attention. We'll investigate, and if we affirm, we will take the necessary steps to protect the integrity of the election. Thank you very much. We are very grateful.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So the process is almost done. The chair will present the signed copies to the candidates, signifying their commitment and affirmation that the process thus far has been free and fair, and that they have committed themselves to accepting the results of the 31st elections, and that they have committed themselves to support the eventual winner of the polls. Thank you very much. That was a beautiful exercise. They stand today as competitors, but their presence here and act shows that they are committed to the higher act and duty of protecting peace and unity of our party. Thank you very much. I'll invite Dr. Tibudako to carry on with the rest of the program.
Thank you very much. Please, the photographers, can you move back a little bit? And if we can have some silence, we'd now like to invite the former president of the Republic of Ghana, our own Nana Addo Akufo-Addo.
Acting chairman of our great party, minority leader in parliament, the Inspector General of Police, the former Chief of Staff, members of the National Peace Council, members of the National Executive Committee of the party, the chairman and members of the Presidential Election Committee, distinguished presidential aspirants, chairman of the Council of Elders, honorable elders and members of the party, fellow patriots, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the invitation, and I'm honored to be here at a moment that is significant, not only for the new patriotic party, but also for Ghana's democratic journey. Let me begin by congratulating our national officers, the chairman and members of the Presidential Election Committee, and all who have worked diligently to organize these primaries coming up in just 9 days' time. You are overseeing a process involving the largest number of delegates in the history of our party. That achievement speaks to the growth, depth, and democratic maturity of the new patriotic party. We're gratified by the presence of the Inspector General of Police and his senior officers at this ceremony, and by the undertakings he has given us today. They are reassuring signals that the proceedings of 31st January 2026 will be conducted in peace and security. IGP, we count on you and your men and women to do a good job. Ladies and gentlemen, our party did not begin today, even though a handful of us were privileged enough to be around in its early days. It did not begin yesterday. Its roots go back to 1947, with the formation of the United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC, from which the Akufo-Addo Busia tradition proudly draws its lineage. At that founding moment, a clear and principled decision was taken. Leadership will be determined by the ballot, not by force, intimidation, or intrigue. George Alfred Park Grant was unanimously elected president and chairman. J.P. Danko and R.S. Blair became vice presidents. R.A. Awona Williams served as treasurer. The other members of that inaugural executive committee were Edward Akufo-Addo, Emmanuel Obeche Dilamte, J.W. de Graaf Johnson, John Sibyl, and Kwabena Kesso. They were men of strong views and strong personalities, but they were united by discipline, mutual respect, patriotism, and an unshakable belief in orderly democratic process. From that beginning emerged a lesson that still guides us today. While the ballot must decide who becomes what, the true test of our internal democracy lies in the conduct of winners and losers alike, before, during, and after the contest. That lesson was reaffirmed in 1992 after the first presidential primaries of the new patriotic party. Once the party chose Professor Albert Eduboahene as our flag bearer, all the other aspirants, including Dr. Kofi Selby, Mr. John Agyapong Kufuor, and Dr. Kwame Safo-Addo, closed ranks and supported him. I was campaign manager of the flag bearer at the time, and I saw firsthand what unity meant, how discipline, sacrifice, and collective purpose strengthened the party, even under the most difficult conditions of the time. That spirit must guide us still. Fellow patriots, a party that cannot manage victory with humility or defeat with dignity cannot expect to win the confidence of the Ghanaian people. As we are reminded, A house divided against itself cannot stand. In such a house is certainly not attractive to the electorate. Ghanaians are watching not only what we say, but also how we behave. I know the campaign has generated some heat among aspirants and supporters. I believe I'm qualified to say that we have seen it all before. Do not be discouraged by the excesses. The thirst for power and the unity required to win power must combine to motivate us to choose fraternity over factionalism once the primaries are over. Permit me another personal reflection. In 1998, I contested the presidential primaries and came second to John Akufo-Addo, subsequently the second president of the Fourth Republic. When the contest ended, I did not hesitate. I became his chief campaigner. That decision was not about convenience. It was about conviction. The unity we demonstrated then helped deliver the first historic presidential victory of the NPP in 2000. And when years later it became my turn, beginning in 2008, I received the same level of loyalty and support from those who had once competed against me. That tradition of fraternity carried us through difficult moments and enabled us to win and serve God. This is the inheritance we must protect. We should never forget that the ideology of the new patriotic party remains deeply attractive to the majority of Ghanaians. Our commitment to individual liberty and the respect for human rights, private enterprise, the rule of law, human development in a society of shared prosperity resonates across this country. When we falter, it is rarely because our ideas have failed. This peace pact, this commitment pact, is therefore not a mere ceremony. It is a solemn covenant, a commitment that ambition will not override fraternity, that competition will not descend into hostility, and that once the ballot has spoken, the party will move forward as one. To the aspirants gathered here today, your conduct will shape the moral tone of the NPP and the future of our country. Your supporters, the grassroots, and the youth of this party are watching you. History will judge not only who wins, but also how all of you conduct yourselves. Let me be clear. The NPP is bigger than any individual. No ambition, grievance, or faction is greater than the elephant. Leadership contests must never weaken the collective cause. Unity is not optional. Unity is not a slogan. Unity is a strategic necessity for victory. So I charge all of you. This peace pact must not only be signed, it must be lived. Over the remaining days, let your campaigns be firm but fair, competitive but respectful. Ours is a tradition that rejects fear, insults, intimidation, and bitterness. Loyalty to individuals must never supersede loyalty to the party. After the primaries, there must be one party, one direction, one destiny. Let me end with confidence on a positive note. I have no doubt that the new patriotic party remains the best vehicle with the best ideas for Ghana's future. Our duty is to keep that vehicle united, disciplined, and worthy of the trust of the Ghanaian people. If we honor our history, respect one another, and put party and country above self, the future of the NPP and of Ghana herself will indeed be bright. I thank you, and I wish us all a peaceful, dignified, and unified process. May God bless the NPP and our homeland Ghana, and make both great and strong. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. The chairperson for the event, our acting national chairman, would now give us the closing remarks.
Your Excellency, the former President, thank you so much. IGP, Peace Council, Council of Elders, my executives, my party members present, aspirants, Presidential Election Committee, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy today for hearing what the IGP said, meaning there will be peace during and after the elections. Thank you, IGP. I wish all the 5 aspirants best of luck. I know Saturday coming will be the day of the elections, and you know that one of you will become the winner. And as my father said, we are one party. We don't have any party apart from NPP, no patriotic party. I thank you all of you for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chairman. Before the closing prayer, we'd just like to take the official photographs so that we are able to do that in an organized manner, because we have dignitaries here, and we know that if we do the closing prayer, there will be confusion because then we've ended. So we just ask for the next 5 minutes, we'll take official photographs, we'll say the closing prayer, and then we can finish with the media press briefing. So we'd like to invite the 5 aspirants to stand up. Please say where you are. And yes, I'll give the mic to the chairperson of the general secretary to tell us the manner in which everyone is standing for the photos.
So what we do is that we ask the aspirants to come in front and hold your hands. Please, we want you to stand in front of the table and hold your hands. Yes, you can stand in front of us, and here, in front of us. Then you face the camera. Please move back. Please move back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you hold your hands. You hold your hands. You hold your hands. Photographers can take the pictures. So continue to do where you are. Ask our reviewers, the countries on the high table to join the aspirants while we take a group picture. So please let's join the aspirants. Let's join them.
Also, police in this. Also,
So the IDP, the Peace Council,
These are the aspirants in the witnesses. Now invite the National Peace Council and the IGP to join us.
It's over.
Thank you very much. The Council of Elders. Presidential Elections Committee will come next. Please get ready. Council of Elders. Photographers, please hold on. Please, when you are ready. Please ready. Council of Thank you very much. Please, I invite the Presidential Elections Committee to join us. Presidential Elections Committee, thank you very much, Council of And after that, finally, national officers, please get ready. The Presidential Elections Committee. And finally, national officers. Let me have that with official matters. All national officers, please come and take the floor. All national officers, deputy national officers.
Live pictures from the Alisa Hotel here in Accra, where the New Patriotic Party just a while ago committed all 5 presidential aspirants for the party's presidential primaries on January 31st to sign a peace pact to commit to peace before, during, and after the elections on the 31st of January 2020. So as you're aware, as this Saturday, the next one, the NPP will elect a new leader who will lead the party going to the election of 2028. The party's National Elections Committee, the committee mandated to ensure that the election is run successfully, held this particular event to commit all 5 presidential aspirants to peace ahead of the presidential primaries. Former President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo was present. Former Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Okwe, the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tetenyahu, was present, made a statement that the police is ever ready and prepared to ensure that there is peace before, during, and after the presidential primaries. This particular event is one of the biggest ones as far as the NPP election calendar is concerned. And the party believes that the party needs unity going to the election of 2028. As you just said, the minority leader Alexander Peño Markin said there that the NPP must remain united so the party can wrestle political power from the NDC in the 2028 general election. So live pictures you are seeing there from the Alisa Hotel here in Accra, where the NPP has just signed a peace pact with all 5 presidential aspirants, talking about Kennedy Agyapong, Dr. Brian Agyapong, also Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, and Engineer Kwabena Agyapong. These are the 5 aspirants who are seeking to lead the NPP going into the election of 2028. The chairman of the National Elections Planning Committee, former Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joe Osei, the former Member of Parliament for the Bekwai constituency, says over 200,000 delegates will on Saturday, January 31st, be voting to elect who will lead the party or the NPP going to the election of 2028. This has been our live coverage of this all-important peace pact that the party's National Election Committee held just a while ago at the Alisa Hotel. We'll go back to the Alisa Hotel where my colleague Jude Mensah Duncan was there giving us coverage as far as this event is concerned. Let's engage him to get the atmosphere as for this signing, the demeanor, the supporters who came with these various aspirants, how they are taking this whole process. Jude, if you can hear me, thank you very much for your time. What has been the atmosphere after signing this particular peace pact? We're trying to establish contact with Jude Mensah Duncan, my colleague here at Channel 1 Television, who is currently at the Alisa Hotel, where the NPP just a while ago signed a peace pact with all 5 presidential aspirants, hoping to lead the party going to the election of 2028. As you're aware, on the 31st of January, just some 9 days away, the party will elect who will lead it to the election of 2028. 5 individuals, as I mentioned earlier, have put their foot forward to be elected as presidential candidates for the party. We are told that over 211,000 delegates of the New Patriotic Party will be voting across the country. The party says it is setting up 277 polling stations across the country where elections will take place on Saturday. The party headquarters will also be a polling station where national officers, Council of Elders members will vote during this election on Saturday, the 31st of January. And so the party says that the Ghana Police Service will be the people in charge of security. The IGP said that 70 police personnel will be dispatched at least to every voting center. Every voting center, you have at least 70 police personnel there to ensure that there's peace before, during, and after the process. Over 211,000 delegates of the party will be voting come this election on Saturday, the 31st of January. The National Elections Committee says it has met the Electoral Commission, is handed all over all the process to the Electoral Commission as far as this election is concerned. The National Election Committee, has done a good job according to the chairman of the committee, and this the outcome of election will be accepted by all. Let's go back to the Alisa Hotel. Let's speak to Jude Mensah Duncan to tell us the impressions after the signing of this peace pact. Jude, if you can hear me, thank you very much for your time. What has been the reaction among the aspirants themselves and their supporters who came there with them as far as this signing is concerned?
The aspirants were here. They were.
Hello, Jude.
They promised to abide by it. What are your reflections from today's event, sir?
Hello, Jude.
Well, I hope that people have learned useful lessons. We need to have the party together once the events are concluded. And I hope to God that they all resolve to abide by what happened today. We may have our own disagreements. We have our disagreements because we have individual orientations.
Yeah.
However, the party's interest should inform all of us in whatever endeavor that we embark on. And we should be truthful to ourselves, we should be truthful to the party, and move on. Because after all, when we finish, we need everybody together.
Finally, we heard the former president speak. He said the party has been there before and the party will come out again. We've seen some very harsh words being used in the campaign. How convinced are you that, again, the NPP will rise above this going into election 2028?
The former president said that we've been there before, and we ought to learn useful lessons from where we've been before and lift ourselves up. We don't have to repeat the same mistakes. So we should be able to rise above what has happened and move the party's agenda forward.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. So they had Oseiche Mensah Bonsu, who also is a senior campaign aide to the former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Now he's convinced that despite the vitriol and some harsh words seen in the course of the campaign, the New Patriotic Party would rise again to the occasion as it gears towards the 31st January presidential election and subsequently election 2028. So we've seen the IGP. Hello, IGP, thank you. We saw your very strong words today. The people want to just hear from you. You've mentioned how ready the police are going into this election. What should we expect from the police finally for those who couldn't follow your previous speech earlier today?
No, we are very hopeful from the peace pack that everybody will comport themselves and then this election will go on very peacefully.
Interesting. You mentioned that Boku is the only place the police won't be. Have you received correspondence from the military? So the police will be there with the military. Earlier you said that it was only the military who was going to take over.
No.
So you will be
all of us, yes, together.
Interesting.
Yes, you also want the support of the military in Boku.
Interesting. You also mentioned that the military will be on standby. You mentioned that 70 personnel will be dotted across all the stations. Minimum of 70. So how many of the military will be stationed around?
We have given it to them to decide. They will decide the number of people that will stand by. But that is the usual practice. Okay.
Thank you. So the IGP Tete Yohonu, helping us or giving some more clarity to his earlier address. He's now taking his leave. As you can see in the shot, he mentioned during his brief address that about 70, or let me say a minimum of 70 police personnel will be stationed at the various election centers, after which no, I'm joined by William Yamwa, who is secretary to the Presidential Election Committee. He's also going to share a few words with us. Mr. Yamwa, thank you so much. It seems a very successful event. Is this what you wanted as a Presidential Election Committee?
Yes, of course, that is our expectation, and indeed God has been faithful and truthful to us, and then we've had a very colorful event. A true reflection of the tenet of the New Patriotic Party. Discipline is our hallmark.
Going forward, many have described the campaign as very harsh in terms of the words used by presidential candidates. Are you convinced this will put an end to it?
Yes, of course, end to it.
And what are some of the sanctions should anybody still go back to some of the things we've seen in the campaign?
Is going to refrain from it. So there's no need to prescribe sanctions, and I know we're going to have a very colorful and successful election come January 31st.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. So you had William Yamwa, who is General Secretary for the Presidential Election Committee for the New Patriotic Party. So currently your shot is the candidate, Dr. Brian Agyapong.
All our senior statesmen were here, senior party people were here, Council of Elders, patrons. I think it's our understanding, and personally my understanding, is this goes beyond the formality. This is something that we have to do as party people who have had the opportunity to contest on the ticket of the party as presidential aspirants. And so when you're giving the platform, you have to respect the platform. You have to respect the ethos the party and that of politics. And it is one that I'm hoping that if my opponents lose to me and my good self, which I expect them to lose to me, they will all support me. But in a very, very unlikely event that I don't emerge the victor, I will also support whoever wins the election in the hopes that that person will campaign hard for him to win the 2028 elections.
Many have described the election as very vitriolic in terms of the commentary used by some of the candidates in the build-up to the election. Are you convicted that this would bring an end to all of the tense moments in the election?
But I don't agree with the vitriolic statement that you have made. I don't think
have been called liars.
But I'm saying, largely, these elections in the last 6 months has been very, very civil. Of course, one or two people may slip, but that will not mar, or you cannot qualify the whole elections as one that is vitriolic. It is not. It has been largely civil, 99.99% civil. The aspirants have conducted themselves. There has been some one or two slippages here and there from other aspirants, but those ones can pass. But on the whole, this campaign has been very, very, very civil and decorous.
Are you minded as a party to also bring on board some senior members of the party who have gone haywire in terms of their public commentary? Your party has been described as fake. Do you think an arm should be stretched to some of these persons who have said very mean things about your party?
This is a party that gained 6.7 million votes when we came to power. Which part of that is fake? I mean, let's move on with some of these isolated commentary and rebuild our party towards winning the 2028 election. Some of those unfortunate comments can be overlooked.
Should the party reach out to them rather than trying to expel them, as we've seen the General Secretary say?
I mean, those are internal processes. If they are party people who have made some comments, the party has internal processes to deal with them. Let's see the outcome of those processes.
Dr. Champo, are you winning this election?
Hands down.
How convinced are you?
Hands down. I mean, I'm saying hands down. You will see.
What gives you this confidence, right?
I've been around the country. I've campaigned very hard in the last 4 months. I'm the first person to have finished my campaign to start a mop-up in some regions of this country. I've been in elections since but I'm saying I've been in elections since 1992. If you will win, you know. If you will lose, you know. And if you have to fear delegates too, you know. I mean, I know what's going on, and I know that God is going to give me a big win the next weekend.
Should you not win, are you saying that you are going to abide by the dictates of the pact you've signed today?
I have said this up 10 times, that is what politicians do. And this is not fake. If you lose an election, you support the victor. But in this case, I'm praying, and I know that all those who are going to lose the elections, the 4 others, will support me in the 2028 elections.
Thank you very much. Thank you too for your time. So you just heard Dr. Kennedy Agyapong. He says he's confident he's going to win the election, and he's done enough work on the grounds which suggests same. He's also called on his fellow candidates to also accept the dictates of the pact that has been signed today. He also talks about the fact that